It's Transformers96 here with another video review. This time we have the Marvel Select Carnage figure. So yeah, so overall I haven't been buying too many Marvel Select figures. I don't know why, they just character-wise they haven't done anything too great. Until now, of course. Carnage is probably my all-time favorite comic book character. So obviously this was an easy decision to purchase this, and I'm very happy to get it. Originally it was expected to come out winter 2015, so it did come out a bit earlier than expected, which is quite nice. As you can see, I did buy two, and I'm gonna open both of them up. It's just I happened to buy this one recently, and I do not have time to open it and completely do everything so that I can still do a review of it. So I will be opening that one soon, and I'm going to display it in a different way from the original. But there's how you can see it in the box. As you can see, looking quite nice. Personally, I do not like Diamond Select boxes. I think that they're really bulky. They get in the way. The cardboard is usually bent on them, and then when you open it, there's so much, little pieces of cardboard and little black pieces of, or brown pieces of paper just all over it. I think they're incredibly messy, and they're just way outdated. They should definitely upgrade them, because they've had that same packaging for years now. So I would have really liked to see them eventually upgrade that packaging already, because it doesn't work in my opinion. Going over the actual figure, it is quite stunning. I'm really quite taken back by how much it comes with, which is usually what gets me with this select series, is that they always come with so much, which I really like, and definitely keeps the figures interesting and fresh. So as you can see, he comes with 3 different heads, 2 regular hands, 2 weapon hands, and then let's see, there's like there's 5 kind of squiggly tentacles, and then 5 strained out tentacles. So a ton of stuff. Going over the actual body though, it's quite nice, I must say. They did a really nice job sculpting this Carnage. Looking very cool. They did go with more of a modern Carnage type of look, in my opinion. And the reason I say that is because the black I don't know what you'd call it, but the black ooze in his body is actually textured onto the body, and there's also in the red, it's shaded in black, which gives it a much more modern type of look for Carnage, as well as his hands also have these knives on them, which is very much a modern type of Carnage look. So they kind of did choose for you which head you're going to display him with, because the head that I have him on right now is a very classic Carnage head, which doesn't fit the body super well, which is unfortunate, because the body is really a modern Carnage type of body, and therefore the modern Carnage type of head that they have is really the one that you're going to have to display him with, unless you just kind of want him looking a little goofy, because he's got a very classic 1990s type of head there, and then this body is very 2000, so they've really kind of chosen the modern head for you to display him with, which can be seen as a good thing. I think that the modern head is really awesome and everything, but if you do prefer a classic Carnage, then that is a bit of a shame for you. But the classic head still does look nice on this body. It just doesn't look like it super fits though, because it is more of a classic design. But overall, I do like it a lot. You've got a ton of texture and detail in the body, which is really cool. Definitely like it. And then as far as the tentacles go, he has many ports. He has 2 on his arms there, 2 on his lower back, 1 on his upper left hand side of his back. Then he has 1 on his right shoulder, which I don't have anything plugged in at right away. And then all these tentacles are, of course, detachable. They just have little pegs at the bottom of them that you can just peg into the spots. So you can really customize his tentacles, which I really like. Now, the thing that's a little strange is, let me just get him up, standing up. He comes with these long tentacles, and he comes with 4 of these. I don't really understand these. I mean, there isn't a single image of Carnage where his tentacles are just really straight and this long, so I find them really weird. The only thing I can think of is possibly they're meant to simulate pain, where he's like transforming into the Carnage from Cassidy, so the tentacles are all straightened out because he's really hurting or something. So but I doubt that that's really what they were going for with these, so I'm not sure what these are even for. And I thought maybe they're like little tentacles that electricity shooting out of his hands or something, but there's no plugs or anything on his hands, so I really don't understand what these are for, and I don't think that they look good all plugged in, because Carnage should have tentacles that are like these, where they're all gooey and kind of shifting around and they look like they have movement. They're not just completely straight up, so I'm not sure what those tentacles are really for. I really just don't know, because I don't think they'd look too good. It's not like they have a wire in them so you could pre-pose them the way you want or anything. They're just soft plastic, so I don't really understand what they were going for there. But that's really the only disappointment that I have with this figure, is that those tentacles don't really belong. But they gave you tentacles that are completely great, so so that really doesn't matter. So there's the classic head there. As you can see, you do have the Cassidy head on the one in package, but I will pop that one on here so that you can see it. It's pretty good. The only thing that I don't like is his face is a little long compared to his body, which is a little strange, and he's got like a lot of dirt in his face. So I definitely don't think that this is the best head sculpt, but it's really interesting, and it's nice that they did include it. It does look cool, I must say, but it's just a little off. So I think that the classic Carnage head is probably the second best. The Cassidy head is the least, and then the best head for this body is definitely going to be this modern Carnage. This is really great. This is the type of head that this body goes with, so it makes sense why this one would look the best, and it just really looks awesome, I have to say. You've got a lot of motion in that face too. Really well done and really well detailed, and I like it a lot. Very cool, I must say. And here, just to compare it so that you kind of get what I'm talking about when it comes to the classic versus modern Carnage. So let me just stand up. There we go. Here's the Marvel Legends Carnage that came out last year, and as you can see, this is clearly a classic Carnage, and the clear signs of that is that the black detail in his body, it's not sculpted in, it's just painted, and the red in his body is completely red. It doesn't have any black highlights in it or anything like that. That is a clear sign for a classic Carnage. Now, I do think that this body has a lot less black than it actually should in it, but that being said, this is a classic Carnage. This is definitely the type of head that the type of body that this head belongs to go with. So that's why it's a little odd having this classic Carnage head on a modern Carnage body. So it would be really cool if in the future they do actually make a classic Carnage, because I think that would be really nice. But I love the modern Carnage look that they've went with, though. It does look really awesome. Articulation is really great. He's got a ball hinge head, so head can't really look up too far, which is unfortunate, but it's you know, it's all right. It doesn't like it's not super bad or anything. He can look down a pretty decent amount. He can look side to side, and he can look side to side, but just like really well. He's got a ball jointed upper torso, down and up. You can move it a lot. Sorry, one of his tentacles fell out. And then he can also, he's got this side rocker to it as well, which is really cool. I love the articulation in this torso. He's got ball hinge shoulders with a bicep swivel, single hinge elbows, but that hinge quite a lot, so I'm very happy with that. He's got swivels kind of at the lower part of the wrist there, as well as he has a hinge on the hands that are his actual hands. On the weapons there, he just has a swivel, but they look really nice. And then he has a swivel waist. Thighs that are very much like the Mattel DC type of thighs, where they're just a hinge, so you can hinge out, and then he has another hinge so that you can hinge in and out as well as front and back. He's got a lower thigh swivel, double hinge knees, which is really nice, and then hinge swivel or pivoting ankles. So overall, I find articulation to be really quite superb. I don't have many, if at all, complaints about the articulation. I think it's done just extremely well, I must say. I think it looks really cool. Weapon-wise, as you can see, you do get this nice axe. The Carnage axe always has one side that's longer than the other, and I think that this is a really good representation of it. I like it a lot. I've seen many images with him with an axe this style. It pops out, you know, relatively easily, and then you do have a knife hand that he can have, which does look really cool. I like the axe better, though, but this is still nice. The only thing is the knife on it is kind of bent a little bit just from being in package, but you can, you know, just put it in the freezer and do like a hair dryer to kind of straighten that out more. But overall, I do like that a lot. And then he, of course, comes with another hand. And the hands are really cool. The actual hands themselves are sculpted really nicely with some really nice long fingernails. And then he does have some blades on him, which is just really cool. I do like the blades a lot. I think that they look awesome, but again, they are very modern Carnage. I wish that he came with a pair of hands that didn't have the blades on them and that were just a little bit more classic-like, because then it would justify a little bit more displaying the classic head on this body if he had like classic type of hands, which unfortunately he doesn't. But still, I love the modern-looking hands. I think that they look great. So yeah, my plan is I'm going to display this one like this, with this tentacle arrangements and with just the two hands and with the ultimate or the newer style of Carnage head. With this Carnage, I'm going to open it up. I'm probably going to display him with either one axe, or maybe the axe and the knife, or maybe just the axe and a hand, or maybe just two axes on both arms. That would be really cool. But I'm going to use the classic style of Carnage head on that one. And then what's really nice is because all the tentacles are removable and everything, I'm just going to rearrange the tentacles so that they're slightly different in that one. So with all the extra stuff with this guy, you can do things to make more than one different looks of Carnage, which is super awesome. And I think it is just quite an amazing figure, I must say. Comparing him to Venom that Diamond selected not too long ago, here he is. Let me just kind of straighten out Carnage so that you can kind of see a straightened out Venom with a straightened out Carnage, so that one's not in a pose while the other one is just standing up straight. Overall, they look decent together. Let me show you. There we go. Overall, they look decent together. They did go with a much slender Venom than the usual comic books depict him as. So because of that, Carnage looks a tad bit bigger than Venom, which is really strange, of course. But they are done in that same modern style. So in a pose where they're fighting is going to look awesome, I have to say. So overall, I do really like the way he looks with Venom. Although I think that for the most people's images in their heads, they always depict Venom as larger than Carnage. Well, in this case, it would be the reverse, with Carnage being larger than Venom. Overall, though, a really fantastic figure. I'd say one of the best figures of the year. So many different display and pose options with him. Many different weapons, heads, tentacles. There's just endless possibilities for displays, as well as he's got such a good range of articulation. It's just really quite amazing. And definitely worth buying two of, like I did, because you can have him displayed so differently, which is just awesome. Really loving this figure. Probably one of the best figures of the year so far, in my opinion, and would highly recommend it to any fan of Marvel, especially if you're a fan of Carnage. And like I said, I'm a huge fan of Carnage, so of course a figure this great of Carnage really makes me happy, and I'm very happy that they did him so well. So yeah, so overall a great figure, and thanks so much for watching.